Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Tax Time Thursdays. This is a series that is designed to explore outreach strategies to reach underserved communities. Today, we will be focusing on reaching Native communities. And we're really delighted to have two presenters with us today from the Oklahoma Native Assets Coalition, also known as ONAC. We have Christy Fensel, who is a citizen of the Osage Nation and the executive director of ONAC. And we have Patsy Schramm, who is a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and the Native EITC and VITA network coordinator at ONAC. So I'm going to pass it over to you both so that you can share more about yourselves and the work of ONAC and share your insights about outreach strategies to Native communities.
Thank you, Roxy. We're grateful to be able to participate today. And I'll be advancing the slides here. So my name is Christy Fensel, and I'm a citizen of the Osage Nation, as Roxy mentioned. And I've been directing ONAC for the last 12 years. And we provide a variety of asset building services and try to connect these to the support for free tax preparation. So just a little bit about the Oklahoma Native Assets Coalition. We are a nonprofit, and we have a 22-year history of serving as a Native Asset Building Coalition. As you can see from our name, we started in Oklahoma, though over the years, we have served more in a national capacity and do so now. So just to be a little extra confusing about that. And we wear a few different hats. One hat that we wear is that we are a direct service provider of asset building programs to tribal citizens across the country. We also work to build the capacity of our partners, so all the tribal nations we work with and other Native-led nonprofits who are also engaged in this work to kind of support them, and we do that in a variety of ways. So our current programming includes that we are also an intermediary grant funder. This year, we are supporting 20 Native VITA programs across the country, and we are providing grant support to help them supplement their VITA expenses. We also coordinate a national Native EITC VITA network, and Patsy does that work for us, and she will be speaking shortly about that network and some of the outreach strategies that we have found to be successful. We also coordinate another national network. It's called the Native Bank on ONAC initiative, and also is referred to as the Get Banked Indian Country campaign. And that work is focused on trying to help tribal citizens get connected to safe and affordable bank accounts. Obviously, it is related to tax time. And we like to think about tax time as asset building time, and people need a safe place to hold those funds. We provide training and technical assistance, also generate resource guides on a variety of topics, promote and conduct national Native asset building research, including some best practices for delivering Native asset building programs, such as how do you provide remote VITA during the pandemic. We've documented also Native children's savings initiatives across the country and a variety of other projects. Additionally, in our work, we provide Native-specific financial education. It's never just by itself. It's always connected to asset building tools. And so we find that to be effective. And we've generated some of the materials ourselves, and sometimes we suggest other good products and resources for the tribal citizens that we serve. We provide national free financial coaching. So for those that you're serving with VITA, if you have work with tribal citizens that might be interested in free financial coaching, We have a very simple registration form, and individuals can sign up. It's just one-on-one. It's with Native coaches, and they can focus on basic budgeting questions or some questions about retirement, also preparing to purchase a home or cleaning up or building credit. We seed fund children's savings accounts across the country for Native youth, also seed fund emergency savings accounts, provide down payment assistance, emergency cash assistance, and work with the FTC on prevention of frauds and scams. So just a little bit about these Native VITA grants that have gone out this year. The 20 grant awards, to our knowledge, represent the largest number of Native grants made during this tax season in the country by one grantor. So with great support from the Wells Fargo Foundation, Target Foundation, Kresge, the Bank of America Charitable Foundation, we've been able to put out these funds. And then the prior year, we had support also from Share Our Strength. And that was really crucial support in terms of, it's not just a short-term fix of how do you do child tax credit outreach. We recognize that with the broadband access issues that we have in Native communities and lack of access to devices and other things, if you're really going to do that child tax credit outreach, it also needs to go through in-person Native VITA programs. And so they generously also supported that longer term effort, which was crucial. And the numbers really, I think, proved to be impressive that way. So, all those funders have been able to help kind of support some of this work. And what we love about these invitation only grants are that the funds are very flexible. We've tried to make the grant application and award process as simple as possible because we know that the VITA practitioners are swamped and sometimes doing multiple jobs. So that's kind of how we've been offering those. And I believe that the IRS has been able to fund 5 Native VITA programs, and with this support, we've been able to fund additional ones. So here's just a quick list of the Native VITA awardees for this year. We've tried to put the funds out as equitably by region as possible. And so on the slides, you can hopefully see those and they'll go out afterwards, I believe, if needed. So we have 3 that are pending just based upon needing signatures on grants and things. But those are coming through. And I think probably by the next week or so, those should all be in good shape. So that's just one kind of piece of the work that we're trying to support. We also work with the IRS to promote Online Taxes, Inc. We have a website page just related to some of the Native VITA resources. And then we are focused on this connection between VITA and banking access. And we're particularly concerned about the banking access issues as the last year that the FDIC reported unbanked and underbanked, so unbanked and underbanked rates. It was at over 50% of American Indians and Alaska Natives were unbanked and underbanked. And so we know that this is really an important piece of this puzzle, and it's a long-term piece of work, basically, just to try to keep getting that outreach out. And then the coaching piece, if anyone is interested in passing along the registration, we have a little bit of information there. And then the other work that we try to provide. So it's kind of wraparound, thinking about how do we serve whole families and how do we talk about assets in a really broad way, while also doing this kind of bread and butter asset building work related to tax prep. I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague, Patsy Schramm. We're extremely grateful that she does this work for ONAC, and she has more to share. Patsy?
Thank you, Christy. I'm Patsy Schramm. I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, as Roxy said, and serve as ONAC's Native EITC VITA Network Work Coordinator. And we want to thank Roxy for inviting us to participate and for her long-term support of Native communities. Very appreciative. Christy, thank you. About our network, a little bit about our network. We have about 250 Native and Native serving VITA site coordinators and advocates. And advocates are not necessarily Native, and they run the gamut from a wide range of organizations that have an interest in serving Native communities. Through the network, we have a mailing list, and we share information, resources, and opportunities. Sometimes grant opportunities come our way that we share, and it's interesting. Some of the feedback that I get often comes from the advocates in terms of being appreciative of having received that resource. They apparently hadn't received it another way. We serve on Prosperity Now's Taxpayer Opportunity Network Steering Committee, and that lets us provide a Native perspective when it's appropriate. And sometimes we're invited to participate in other national efforts to share a Native perspective. One of the things that Christy asked us to address is unique obstacles and learn best practices. And one of the biggest obstacles facing Native communities, Christy made reference to it, is the push for facilitated self-assistance return filing, because connectivity and related skills and equipment are lacking in many areas of Indian country, and really not just Indian country, but rural areas. So that's truly the biggest obstacle we see now. And as a best practice to reach Native communities, outreach is best when it's done through trusted resources. If you're interested in partnering as an ally, our suggestion is to be consistent in what you offer. Don't start something, then disappear. Know that you have the resources to deliver on what it is that you offer, and be respectful, and connect with your Native VITA programs in your geographic area. To reach Native populations in urban communities, I posted 2 sources. One is Urban Indian Centers. There's a very large network of urban Indian centers, and it's a very well-run organization. And on their website, you can see where their member urban Indian centers are located. And another would be the Indian Health Service facilities. And I feel pretty confident if you asked to post information in those facilities that they would be willing to do that. Another way, if you would like to be a virtual volunteer to prepare returns based on intake at a Native VITA site, and you're a certified volunteer, if you're interested, then you can contact me. My contact information will be at the end, and I can share your offer. I already know of one Native VITA site that would be interested in that. If you're interested in volunteering, but you're not yet certified, you can find information on the IRS website and sign up. And then IRS territory managers could also help you with the process. And the next site, we're very grateful to Roxy for providing that. We want to thank you for your interest in reaching out to Native communities. You can join us at the link that I'm sure Roxy's getting ready to post. And then our contact information is shown. And do you have anyone have any questions for either Christy or me? I saw one for me as I scrolled through the screen. I saw one familiar name. Most of the rest of you, as I scrolled, I didn't recognize, but we very much appreciate your interest, and we would welcome any questions.